9 signs. He's secretly in love, but won't admit. Love can be a tricky thing. It's something that often takes time to build, and sometimes, even when it's there, one person might be too shy or afraid to admit it. If you're wondering whether your quiet, reserved partner is secretly in love with you, but simply won't say the words, you're not alone. Many people find themselves in relationships where one person seems emotionally distant or hesitant to express their feelings. But there are subtle signs that can help you determine if he's hiding his true emotions. Here are 9 signs he's secretly in love with you but won't admit it. 1. He gets protective over you. If he's always looking out for your well-being, even if it's in the smallest of ways, this is a huge sign he cares deeply about you. He may not be outwardly expressive or show his feelings with grand gestures, but his protective nature speaks volumes. Whether it's ensuring you're safe getting home at night, keeping an eye out for you at social events, or even subtly stepping in if he thinks someone is crossing boundaries, this protective behavior shows that he's invested in you more than he lets on. He might not say, "I love you," but the way he looks out for you speaks louder than words. This is a classic sign that he's harboring deeper feelings, but is afraid to show vulnerability by admitting them outright. 2. He listens to you, really listens. When a guy is secretly in love with you, he will listen to you more intently than most people. It's not just about hearing the words you say, it's about understanding your emotions and paying attention to the smallest details in your life. He might remember your favorite song, the way you like your coffee, or the little things that others overlook. If you're having a rough day or need advice, he's there, offering support without making a fuss. His listening goes beyond just being polite. It's a reflection of his care for you. His unspoken feelings come through when he takes an active interest in your life and listens to every word you say. 3. His body language gives him away. Sometimes words aren't necessary to convey feelings. Body language says it all. If he's secretly in love with you, his body language will speak volumes, even if he won't say the words. Pay attention to how he acts around you. He may make more eye contact than usual, smile whenever you speak, or even subconsciously mirror your movements. When you're close to him, he might find excuses to touch you, like brushing your arm or giving you a lingering hug. These gestures often indicate attraction and affection, even if he isn't vocal about it. You might also notice that he tries to position himself closer to you in group settings or leans in when you're talking. He's always available when you need him. A man who's secretly in love with you won't hesitate to drop everything when you need him. Whether it's picking you up when your car breaks down or showing up at the last minute to support you at an event, his willingness to always be there for you is a sign of deeper feelings. He might not explicitly say, "I love you," but his actions are more than enough to show his commitment to you. This reliability and dependability are some of the biggest indicators that he has deeper emotions for you. If he's always ready to help, it means that, at a subconscious level, he's prioritizing you above others, and that's a pretty clear sign that he's falling for you. 5. He acts jealous, but in a subtle way. Jealousy is a tricky emotion, and when it's subtle, it can be hard to notice. If he acts a little off or slightly protective, when you're talking to other men, it might be a sign that he's harboring romantic feelings for you. He may not confront you or express his jealousy directly, but his body language and small comments will give him away. For example, he might casually ask about your day, what you did, or who you spent time with. This is usually because he's trying to gauge the nature of your interactions with others. He doesn't want to seem overly possessive, but deep down, he's protective of his emotions for you. 6. He remembers important details about you. When a guy is secretly in love with you, he'll often remember things about you that others forget. It could be something simple, like remembering your favorite food or the fact that you like to have your morning coffee at a specific time. He might even recall something you said in passing weeks ago, showing that he pays attention to you in a way that's different from the casual observer. This attention to detail shows that he values you, and although he doesn't verbally express his feelings, He's mentally cataloguing every little thing about you. If he's paying that much attention to the details, it's a clear sign that his feelings for you are much deeper than he's willing to admit. 7. He teases you in a playful way. Sometimes, teasing can be a sign of affection. If he's always joking with you, making light-hearted fun of you in a playful manner, it could be his way of showing interest without being too forward. Men who are secretly in love with someone often express their emotions through light teasing, because it allows them to interact with you intimately without exposing their true feelings. For instance, he might poke fun at your little quirks or comment on how you always have to have things a certain way. This kind of teasing is a way for him to be close to you without crossing the line into vulnerability. If he's making an effort to engage with you in this way, he's likely trying to get closer to you without revealing his heart. 8. He talks about the future, but doesn't specify you. One of the most telling signs that he's secretly in love with you is when he talks about the future, but doesn't always make it clear whether you're a part of it. He might discuss things he wants to do in the next few years, or his plans for trips, career goals, or personal development, but never quite mentions you directly. However, there are often subtle hints in these conversations that suggest he's thinking about a future with you. For example, he might say something like, "I've always wanted to visit that place, but if you pay attention, you'll realize it's a place you've both talked about visiting together before." He's planting seeds for a future that may involve you, but he's not yet brave enough to admit that he's already imagining a life with you. 9. He gets nervous around you. Lastly, one of the biggest signs that he's secretly in love with you is when he acts nervous or flustered around you. He might fidget, blush, or stumble over his words when you're around. This nervousness is often a sign that he's overwhelmed by his feelings, but isn't sure how to express them. It's common for someone in love to feel vulnerable around the person they care about most. If he's struggling to maintain his usual cool demeanor, it's likely because he has strong feelings for you but is trying to keep them hidden. If you're noticing these signs in the man you're interested in, it's pretty clear that he's hiding his feelings for you. Whether it's because he's afraid of rejection, unsure of how you feel, or simply not ready to be vulnerable, his actions speak louder than words. The key is to be patient, stay observant, and let him open up on his own time. Love is a delicate thing, and sometimes it takes time for someone to express how they truly feel. If you're on the receiving end of these subtle signs, it's possible that he's quietly falling for you, but just waiting for the right moment to admit it. Remember, the best way to truly know how someone feels is by creating a space where they feel safe to open up, without pressure. So, if you suspect that he's in love with you, the next step is to give him the reassurance and understanding he needs to be honest about his feelings.